Hi, my name's Catherine McNulty, and I am the founder of Grief Inspired. I created Grief Inspired as a result of my own loss. Back in 2010, I gave birth to my son Jackson Robert prematurely and spent 6 weeks with him in the NICU before he passed away. So I've created Grief Inspired to bring meaning to his loss, to give you hope for your future, to let you know that you can do more than just survive grief, and that you can transform your life if you're willing to give yourself more meaning and purpose for the life that you have today and really find a way to honor the one that you've lost. So today I want to talk about control and feeling out of control and what that's like. And honestly, it's a topic I don't even really like talking about because I'm a bit of a control freak. And for those of you who know me, you know that. And so this brings up a lot of feelings. But really, as it relates to the grief process, earlier on in my grief, I felt completely out of control. When I lost my son and I went back home, I didn't know what my future was going to hold. I didn't know what my future should look like. I had a plan for what it was going to look like, but I had no idea what I even wanted or what I could create or what that was going to look like. And so that was completely out of control. I felt fear. I was panicked. I was sent me into anxiety for years as a result of that, and I didn't like it. I didn't like feeling that way. It was so uncomfortable. And I know that I'm not alone. I know that feeling out of control is something that we generally as a society don't like. We don't want. We do everything we can to keep everything in control and to try to create an environment where we are really controlled, but that doesn't always happen. Life doesn't happen that way. And so, what I want to talk about today is how you can learn to practice feeling out of control and being okay with it. Learning how to sit in the discomfort because it's something that you have to work on. It's not something that's natural. It's something that you can practice and that in time you can get better at it. Even today, lately I've been working, been very proud of a budget I've been creating, really getting my finances in order. And the car breaks and it's $1,000 ticket, $1,000 bill to pay. And it throws the budget completely off because I haven't budgeted for that. That left me feeling very out of control even today. And so, how do you sit with that? How do you stop? How do you take a deep breath? How do you say, I feel completely out of control right now. My emotions are completely out of control. I don't know what to do. Early on in my grief, my emotions were out of control, and I think that was the thing that was most unsettling for me and left me with the least amount of certainty. I would look across a parking lot when I was at Walmart and I would see a pregnant mother. Not only a pregnant mother, but a pregnant mother with a toddler in a shopping cart. And I would get this knot in the pit of my stomach. And I would just think to myself, like, why does she deserve to have two kids when all I really wanted was one? I wanted mine. And she gets to have two. And she's going to have more. And she probably has, a trouble-free pregnancy and there's nothing that's a problem. And, right? So there's anger that came up for me and I'm not proud of. Luckily, I didn't act on a lot of it, but that anger was really there and it left me feeling very out of control and a lot of times very panicked. Another time was when I was sitting in the depression. I was depressed for so long and I was I was 6 to 8 months out from my loss, and I thought to myself I should feel better. I should not be quite so depressed. I should be getting better. I should be over this. I should be happier because everyone else in my life has moved on. No one else is talking about it. Uh, no one else thinks about Jackson the way I was thinking about him every single day, and I was tired of being depressed. I didn't want to be that way, but I couldn't control it. And not being in control of feeling depressed was depressing, and it kind of perpetuated the cycle, right? And I remember actively working to try to change it, to try to will myself to be happy, to try to get back into things. And I think that that was much more counterproductive than giving myself a break and stepping back and saying, you know what, this is just an out of control time. Grief takes over your emotions. You can't necessarily control them, and you need to be okay with that. So, the thing about feeling out of control is just that it really is more of a feeling than anything else. There are certainly, life is going to send us situations where we're completely out of control, where we feel out of control, but it's a feeling that we can look within and we can regulate and maybe do something about it. So things like practicing sitting in that discomfort and being able to acknowledge and say, I'm completely out of control right now. I need to stop. I need to take a break. I'm in complete overwhelm and I'm about to shut down. I know that space really, really well. um, the other thing is being able to ask yourself, what do I need? What do I need that I can control right now that's going to give me that feeling of more control? Maybe it's taking 10 minutes to go sit by yourself, maybe with a meditation video. Maybe it's stopping what you're doing and putting your running shoes on and going for a run. Maybe it's calling somebody and saying, someone that you trust, I really feel out of control right now. Maybe it's going to my Grief Inspired support group, and that's called Grief Inspired Create Meaning and Loss. You can go there and you can put something out into the world, to be able to say how you're feeling and get support that way. Uh, there's lots of things that you can do. And again, it's more of a feeling of control, of feeling out of control, than it is really being out of control, because you have more control than you realize. So, the thing about Grief Inspired is being able to take action on what you're learning and what you're experiencing. So, my question for you is this: what can you do when you feel out of control? What are the actions that you can take to help bring you back, give you a little control? What actions can you take to help you lean into the discomfort of feeling out of control? And then what actions can you take that's going to bring more meaning and purpose and is going to honor the person that you've lost? What can you do to support them, to support the memory, to support yourself, and to remind yourself that grief is about your life. It's not about their death. You have more control than you think. You can get into action to be in control, to find that control, and you can get started right now. So what are you waiting for?